Well, hello everybody and welcome to another video, a video of a difference, because today I thought it would be interesting to talk about the business side of what I do.
Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Some of my regular viewers might be watching this thinking, Tom, what is this video all about? Well, you wouldn't be far wrong. But this week is my busiest week of the year. You see, typically I'm out in the field enjoying landscape photography, but not this week. This week is where I make the bulk of my annual income. And forever I've wanted to document this process. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a video about the business side of what I do, share a bit of behind the scenes, and just try and have a bit of fun and make a video out of what is undoubtedly the most difficult week of my year. So making a business out of a YouTube channel is pretty easy to do, and it's also a fairly obvious path, right? You go out, you create valuable content, or content that adds value to the viewer. And the more you do that, the more you get an audience. Once you get a sizable audience, you can switch on the adverts, although pitiful and unreliable payments, Google, terrible. But you can also attract sponsors. Sponsors are a far more reliable source of income and far more consistent, so you can earn your money like this rather than like this, which is ad revenue. But that's just YouTube. I don't consider myself to be a YouTuber. I actually see myself as a photographer. So how do I make money from my photography? Not necessarily YouTube, although of course it's all intertwined. Well, that's the sort of genius strategy that comes with being a creative artist on a platform like YouTube. And when I say creative artist, I mean someone who actually creates physical things. So you could be like a drawer, painter, sculptor, whatever. I'm a photographer, right? The reason it's so good is because the cycle of creating videos, a byproduct of that cycle is a product to sell. Let me explain. I go out with my camera into the landscape and I shoot landscape photography. That's my hobby, that's my passion, that's what I do. I video that process, edit those videos, put them on YouTube. Now, as I mentioned before, the byproduct of that is images. I have to take images in the field, and those images can then become products. The most obvious and simplistic way would be to sell an image as a print. This is the easiest way to package an image ready for sale. You like the image, would you like to buy the print? The problem is, I have struggled to sell prints my entire professional career. The reason being that if you want to sell prints as a bespoke, limited product, they're very expensive, and a lot of people struggle to see the value in that. So if somebody contacts me, wants to buy one of my images as a print, we discuss paper types, we discuss sizes, and I'm spending a lot of time on one single sale. So the price naturally is going to go quite high. It's a unique one-off piece. If I mass produce prints, which I've tried by selling print packs, then the value, the price comes down, but so does the uniqueness and that feeling of it being a one-off piece. So again, people don't really buy them. So prints, I struggle with. One of the best products, or one of the best ways of packaging my products, my images, are in the form of a book. And I will talk more about the business benefits, shall we say, of any artist creating a book. But a book is great because you can mass produce them. They appeal to a wide range of people. There's a ton of value in here because there are hundreds of pages, so the perceived value is high. So books are fantastic. Another way in which I package my images ready to sell as a product would be something like this, an annual calendar. These are great, but they are nowhere near as good as a book. And actually, these are an incredibly risky investment, which I will talk about a little bit later. Now, I don't sell digital products. Again, I do, I sell an ebook, but it's very cheap and I don't sell many of them. But the physical products, I personally can really get behind them because it's my passion, right? It's a physical thing that I'm proud of, that I've created, that's tangible and I can hold in my hand. And I think because of those feelings towards my physical products, sounds a bit weird, I'm reluctant to hand that off to a third party to deal with. And as a result, I've created a system in which I work completely alone, from producing these videos, filming, editing, posting, to manufacturing products, importing products, exporting products. So let's go and have a look at operations, and yeah, things might get a bit more businessy from this point on. In fact, this whole video is pretty businessy. So as we've established, we have a YouTube channel. We monetize that YouTube channel through ad revenue and through sponsorships. I sell products, I sell calendars, prints, and books. I want to talk more about books. These are the very best product that you can sell if you're an artist or creator, for many reasons. Well, the big reason is the fact that what artist out there doesn't want to sell their work in print form? That's a great reason. Secondly, by going out and doing the very thing that makes me a living, which is making these videos and shooting images, I'm already creating the content. I'm already gathering the memories and the stories and the anecdotes to go inside this book. So the actual content for the book, it's already there. It's already being created. You just need to piece it together. Typically, books weigh less than 2 kilograms, and this is important because here in the UK, I use Royal Mail, and Royal Mail will not ship anything over 2 kilos. That might have changed actually this year, I'm not sure, but for the past 10 years and beyond, Royal Mail would not ship parcels over 2 kilograms. So that was an important factor. They are very, very flat, low profile, and easy to store, which means you can order them in bulk and you don't need to hire a warehouse to store them. Books are non-VATable in the UK. We do not pay VAT on books in the UK. Unlike my calendar, books don't expire. This has no expiration date. I could order 100,000 units of these books, and that would do me for a lifetime, because the way in which I've written this book is all about the creation of images and not the technical gear related side, which means in theory this book won't date. It should be relevant for years and years to come. Now, unfortunately, none of that applies to my calendar. These are VATable, and whereas the book, in theory will sell forever, this calendar has a window of about 10 weeks in which it has to sell. Now, because of that, a calendar is an incredibly risky product to sell. It's a risky investment, it just is. But I say I've come up with a system, it's not my system, but I use a system which means I can sell thousands of these calendars all single-handedly. And it's more or less risk-free, but it does involve a lot, and I mean a lot, of hard work. So we're actually going to go downstairs into my back room, my spare room, and yeah, we're going to look at the disaster that's waiting for us down there. So welcome to my back room, the temporary packing room. You see, usually I would pack all of my products upstairs in office 2, but there is absolutely zero point in carrying thousands and thousands of calendars all the way upstairs, packing them, and then a few days later, bringing them back downstairs to go out to customers. Now, I mentioned before that calendars are risky, and they just are. With such a short shelf life, it would be a risky investment to buy a ton of calendars and then hope that you sell them all before Christmas. So the way that I mitigate that risk is I offer the calendars as pre-orders. It sounds quite simple, but the problem is, why would anyone pre-order a calendar? There's no incentive. You may as well just wait till it's ready to be shipped, and then you can order it and get it like 2 days later. So I need to incentivize my customers to buy a calendar early. And that is where the real hard work comes in. Because in order to incentivize people to pre-order my calendar, I said, if you pre-order this calendar, not only will I sign the calendar, but also I will include a free signed print. And then, bosh, I get a load of pre-orders, thousands of pre-orders, which is fantastic. Like it's perfect because not only do I know that I've sold a good number of calendars, but I know how many I've sold, and on that, on the pre-order numbers, I can base my big order. So I can think, okay, X amount of people have pre-ordered the calendar, so I'll order this many. But the problem with that is that now I have to sit down for the next 3 days, yes, 3 days, and sign calendars. But it's not straightforward. It is far from straightforward.
Now, if I had a nice stack of calendars piled up ready to sign, this wouldn't be too much of an issue. However, there is so much friction when signing these calendars. The first problem is they come in boxes, so I need to empty one box. That's the first bit of friction. The next thing is that the calendars come in plastic wallets. So I need to open the plastic wallet, slip out the calendar partially, sign it, and then put it to one side with enough time for the ink to dry, because if you don't leave enough time, the signature will smudge. The next process is to stack those signed calendars and then insert a signed print. Now, this doesn't sound too bad, but imagine doing this thousands of times. And the entire process of signing the calendars and inserting a print takes about 3 days.
So 3 days is a long time, it is, and it would be much quicker if I didn't offer the incentive of signing the calendar and inserting a free print, because I could just take order of the calendars and they would go straight out of those boxes there. I would package them and ship them straight to the customer. It would save me 3 or 4 days of hard work. But I've tried that. I've tried selling calendars without a signature, and they do not sell. They sell half as well. So by offering pre-orders with a personalized touch that shows that I care, and I do care, and that's a signature and a print, they sell so much better. And that's just one of the many reasons why I work alone. Like, I can't outsource this. It's impossible, because I'm the only one that can sign it, and I'm the only one who understands real quality control. I'm very fussy about what goes out. And that goes with the print and the calendars and the books and everything. So once all of the calendars are signed, they're ready to be packed. And this is another process that needs to be done to an absolute T. There's a system and a process of steps. And if any of those steps are taking longer than usual or aren't going quite to plan, then I'm going to be spending many, many, many days packing calendars. And that is not what I want to do. So this is a bit like a dance. You need to get in the zone, and you need to spend the time, take the time to get everything in the right place. Can I reach everything I need to reach from this position? Calendar, box, new box. Oh, hang on. These need to come left. All right, here we go. Calendar. Okay, so that there is 20 calendars. I reckon I can pack about 200, is it 200 in an hour? Yeah, I think on a good day when I'm in the zone, I can do 200 an hour. But that's not the end of it. That's not the end of it. We've done the signing, we've inserted the prints, we've packed the calendars. Now, by the end of a few days, pushing on for 5 days, this stack of calendars will be ceiling high, and there'll be hundreds and hundreds. I'll be surrounded by these boxes, but they all need to be labeled, and that is another big job.
Once the majority of calendars have been packed, I begin the label printing process. On my website, I use WooCommerce, which allows people to buy products. I have a business account with Royal Mail and DHL. Anybody can set one of these up, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just talk about Royal Mail. Royal Mail will pull all of the orders from my website. It's then simply a case of organising those orders by region: UK, Europe, rest of world. I then sort by postage service: first class, tracked, or economy. Once the orders are sorted, it's simply a case of applying the correct shipping service to those orders and printing the labels. I use a thermal transfer printer. To be specific, a Zebra GK420D. And if you sell anything yourself, get one of these. They are a game changer. They don't use ink, and Royal Mail will supply the labels free of charge. Once I've printed a ton of labels, I begin the tedious process of peeling and sticking, including a do not bend label. Orders outside of the UK must have a customs label as well as an address label, and with all European orders I must collect VAT and pay it each month to all countries in the EU. For this administration nightmare, I use a company called 𝘧𝘧𝘪𝘭𝘪𝘯𝘬, I believe that's how it's pronounced, who pay that VAT to the various countries and then invoice me for that amount. This service cost me about £500 a year, and if I didn't collect VAT at checkout, then the parcels would be held by customs until the customer paid the VAT plus other charges, and many parcels would be returned to sender. Finally, the parcels are bagged, and each bag is labelled depending on the location and shipping service of the parcels inside. Once I have a good number of bagged items, I call Royal Mail, who come, collect them, and then send them out to the beautiful people who have ordered them and who help keep this channel going.
So this business, as just a single man who loves landscape photography, I'm not single, I'm married by the way, but you know, a lone wolf, a solo entrepreneur who loves photography. I've created a system where everything's manageable. Now I couldn't do all that packing every day obviously, but my orders, my product orders, they're sustainable, and by keeping the systems in place, you know, from the keeping everything pre-packed and ready to go, having my website linked up to Royal Mail, it's just frictionless, it flows. I can go out and shoot images, shoot videos, sell products, I can take on other adventures and projects. It's perfectly fine. Now obviously I'm not perfect, I don't reply to a lot of emails, I struggle with emails, so there's that, and I do occasionally find myself being a busy idiot. So I'm sure that I could benefit from having team members, but I don't want to. I like being my own person and doing my own thing. I don't even want to use any distributors because I had quality control and I'm very fussy about everything, and what it boils down to is I enjoy it. I love the operational side of what is this photography business. There's nothing more satisfying than packing and shipping a physical product. I just love it. I don't know. And that's it. That's where I get a lot of joy. So I'm going to end this video with a message from today's sponsor, which is Squarespace. If you don't know who Squarespace are, they're an all-in-one website building platform. So if you fancy your own online store, your own website and domain, you can do it all using their beautifully intuitive and simple drag and drop system. You don't need any experience. It's very straightforward. You can learn it by watching a few YouTube videos. Not a problem. They've got 24/7 customer support. So if you want to give that a go and get a free trial, go to squarespace.com/Heaton. And if you like that free trial, use the offer code Heaton for 10% off your first purchase.